So I'm gonna start at the end because I don't know if I can land this, but I think that, I want to kind of talk about, navigating in space, and I want to see if I can get there through this metaphor that I've found some relief and clarity in, which is that of being on a spaceship. And for me, that's helped kind of bring some, I guess, order or meaning to the fact that there's three of us on this vessel, whose orbit is, propelled or centers the needs of this little person. We're propelled by kind of this abundant energy of love and care for everyone's on board, while at the same time kind of supported on the ground by a network of people who love and care about us. And then there's also this notion that for all of us, Sarah, Layla, and myself, we're doing this for the first time. We're in outer space, we're in new space. And to date, over the past 4 weeks, that's kind of been the extent to which I've leaned on the metaphor, although this new feature of it, I feel like revealed itself this week through an example that I want to share and see if I can kind of name that new feature. And I'll start with the new feature. I think the new feature is, how do you make, how do you find direction? How do you make choices in an environment of this sort, where you are floating in this new space, and where exactly you're trying to go is not clear and may not ever be clear. And this specific example this week was, we noticed Layla was sleeping less, and she was, fussier, and Sarah's instinct was, deeply intuitive. She needs to eat more. Let's put her, on my chest to breastfeed. And I noticed myself expressing a little bit of restraint. Can we make sure that we iterate through a bunch of soothing techniques before landing on that, so that we can ensure we're accurately, or as accurately we can, deciphering her cries for what it is that she exactly needs. And I think in those two approaches that Sarah and I defaulted to is kind of like an interesting instinct, which is, for me, I think inside of that is me looking out of the spaceship, looking out in the universe for what could come, and the consequence of, quote unquote, misinterpreting her cues. And for Sarah, I felt like she was looking within the spaceship, depending on what she was sensing in her body and within Layla, and letting go of all of those open questions that land in the future. And that just feels like something I'm constantly encountering across contexts, but specifically ones like I kind of mentioned, where it's a new space and I don't exactly know where I'm going. And I think in some ways I often depend or default or expect there to be a map of some sort. And I think this week is really causing me to think about, using more of a compass and having a general direction or set of principles or values that kind of orient and guide, and kind of letting go of thinking I can know what choices in service of those things will ultimately sum into, because I don't think they are knowable. I think that was just like a new feature of this metaphor that revealed itself this week that feels clarifying.